annoying. Can I hear myself? I think I may be a little low.
You sound right.
All right. So today we're jumping right. Why do I look orange? I don't know what's going on with the color, but whatever. Good evening. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Looking like the New York flag up in here. The blue, white, and orange.
Oh, maybe that's why oh wait, because the lamp's not on. I'm like, why do I look colored? But in a weird way.
That's crazy. That don't sound right, but that's... There we go.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that about? I still don't have an intro for the I'm still working on it. I haven't been moved as of yet. I do have a bunch of, I want to say, episodes that I have to go rewatch and getting back into the swing of things. So I definitely got to work on that. I got to do a lot of bios, because I don't even know what episode we're on right now. Like I've been slacking. I don't even know why. Like I don't know what.
It's somewhere in the teens, I think.
I don't know what I've been doing. Cause yeah, ever since I finished, like I gave myself, I want to say 2 weeks, and I was like, yeah, I gave myself 2 weeks after graduation, didn't do anything. Then I had to prepare for another cert. Then after that, I guess I gave myself another 2 weeks. I don't even remember how long ago I took that.
You needed to decompress.
I don't know if I would decompress. I feel like that's funny. I had a conversation with my homegirl earlier today. She's a therapist, and I was talking to her about a reel that I saw about people like weaponizing therapy terms and mental health and this, that, and the third, and how we just call everything burnout. We call everything, being overwhelmed. We call everything mental health, and it just gets to be a lot. And I'm paraphrasing based on my own personal interpretation of it, because when I sent it to her, she had disagreed with me. And maybe I'll play that a little bit later, but we'll see how long it takes to get through all of this stuff. But today, it does seem like I had a lot of things backed up. There's been new things going on. There's been,
Let's go with the
new stuff. I feel like everybody's talking about it. Is this just hilarious? Lauren, I don't know the girl name, but basically it's this whole thing about how Just Hilarious was chosen to be the third co-host of Breakfast Club, because we all know Angela Yee left because her and Charlotte had a little kerfuffle, and she just felt like her time was done there. She built the Breakfast Club with them. They lasted a few decades, or a decade plus. Pretty much revolutionized hip-hop radio, because for as long as we could remember, there was always only one. There was always Hot 97. And with the birth of Breakfast Club, they really came in and created a strong foothold in that, morning radio slot. And then not only that, they revolutionized it and turned it into a type of podcast. That's part of the reason why, iHeartRadio is now dibbling and dabbling in the podcast space. That's now why other radio shows, the Hot 97 radio show with Ebro, and they kind of try to follow that same business model of recording the episodes visually, putting it on YouTube, having exclusive content, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And so I say all of that to say, when she left, they made a pretty big deal about finding a third co-host, and Just Hilarious ended up leading the pack, and she got chosen. But and I still think that this is kind of dumb, but you can't. I only say it's dumb because she is on record saying she made the choice. It's not that her and her man was just happened to be sleeping with each other and boom, she had a baby. Like, she consciously had a choice that she wanted another kid, and given her age, I'm assuming she's in like her mid to late 30s. The time is now. Like, there's really nothing else you could do about it. You know, that geriatric pregnancy is a thing, and you know, she had to do it now, but it just came at an awkward point because you just got this position, you just got comfortable, I guess, like you just got acclimated, and here you go getting ready to go on maternity leave, and then you usher in some new person. And like a lot of black people, you know, who are skeptical of putting their peoples on, Shorty did a good job, and she got you looking a little crazy. People have been talking about how Jess is not, you know, intelligent, which I don't agree with, but these are just the things that they were saying. She's unintelligent, she can't read, blah, 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 blah.
I wouldn't say all that. I would say she's ignorant, but that's stupid.
Ignorant is crazy.
She's ignorant. When this girl was on Breakfast Club with Eric Adams, she wasn't there because they actually had beef with each other. Ole
and Jess has beef?
Well, she criticized Jess for talking about trans people and stuff like that, and she basically put her on blast for that, basically. And so obviously when she went to the Breakfast Club, she couldn't be there, basically.
I don't know if I would say she couldn't be there.
I mean, just to avoid any tension. You know?
But what tension is there if you truly don't have beef with the, you know, Ligga Bigga Tigga community? That I don't understand why you couldn't have had that conversation. And I think it's more so because Jess was, and because I do remember that, because Jess and T.S. Madison had a little back and forth. It wasn't direct, but they were definitely throwing subs and shots at each other from both of their platforms back and forth. And again, because Jess shared that there was, I don't remember if it was a rapper or an athlete, but someone DM'd her offering her a substantial amount of money because they thought she was a part of said community. And I don't know if she said she was offended. I don't remember what her response was, but I do remember it being a thing.
Yeah.
And again, sometimes you just got to stay out of it. Sometimes some conversations are not for you. Like, it's not for you to speak on something, especially when you know what your, I guess, interactions are. But I don't want to get too deep into that. But so even in that situation where she couldn't be there with Ole and Eric Adams, it's because she just wouldn't have offered anything.
Yeah, she's a comedian.
Like she just would have been there to you know, be a clown. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but
and plus Eric Adams was enough. So like,
and that was a time that was meant for
our clown ass mayor.
No, for Olay to really expose him, because she's been hypercritical of him online, and so for them to have that one-on-one, we don't need no clownery, you know, in this moment. Yeah. So I say all of that again to say that they bring Lauren on when she's gone, then she comes back, and I could only imagine how she feels. Like, okay, I'm back, and you still got her here, and then you still got her here, and then she's still here. Like, now it's four of us. Like, you just have to have her even though I'm back. I could see why that would be a problem. However, I don't know if she fully understands.
Lauren had the credentials to be there, you know? Probably more than her, if anything.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I say all of that to say again, it's been unfolding on the interwebs. We have been, you know, front row center. First it started with Jess crashing out on Instagram. Then it turned into they actually have the conversation on the air today. And then I did see she went live again, but they were saying that it's because she got fired because of the on-air conversation. I don't know how true that may be, but this saga is just unfolding, and yeah, I just want to jump into it. I don't even know what else there is at this point to say.
It was weird. Yes, it was weird. Yeah, I at first, no, I did not. I wasn't too fond of Lauren. No, I wasn't too fond of her when I came back, because we had a whole plan. Even how when I came back, how I pick her to fill in for me, right? I come back, she ain't never leave. Then, all right, cool that she don't leave, but she's on only during my segment. If she was meant to be a fourth host, move her in another way. Why she got to be moved in on? Because nobody had a problem with Jess with the mess until she started reading right. You know what I mean? Till she started reporting. I wasn't hired as a reporter. I was hired as Jess with the mess. So she started reading and delivering details and all that stuff. Yes. Then that's when Jess with the mess wasn't good enough no more. That's how it was presented. So I'm like, all right, cool.
But who said that though? Because the internet said that?
What are we talking about? No. This is our listeners. This is yeah. Why can't we worry about the comments? And these are people that enjoy the show and watch the show. It's not all about Instagram. It's YouTube. It's like we have people that have been watching the show. Yeah, she's great at what she do. That's why I picked her to fill in for me. But when I came back,
and the fact that you keep throwing that in there too.
Like, I mean, what's going on? If she's gonna be a fourth voice, why she only gotta be a fourth voice on my segment?
She wasn't a fourth voice. She was a producer. She was hired as a news producer to help with getting all news and doing interviews.
She was gonna be the senior news producer.
She wasn't on there. When you came back, Lauren was not on there. She was in the back doing questions, sending interview questions, reporting the news. Am I lying?
I thought you was.
I thought she was on air.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Why didn't you wear the do-rag this morning?
Because
now Charlamagne want to be clowning.
What you mean?
It's not a do-rag, it's a silk scarf, nigga. But it's not.
Charlamagne.
If you gonna bring it to the radio,
it's not a joke.
It's not a joke. It's a serious issue about it.
It is a serious issue.
Okay, let me just sit back and watch then, because I'm not Joe Clark.
Because it's not.
I am actually. Give me my baseball bat.
No, it's now Envy. That's what I'm saying. No, nobody has even tried to clean up the narrative that I'm a villain. Man,
you're not a villain. Who said you a villain?
Yo, stop acting like you don't live in them comments too, Charlotte. Stop acting like you don't understand.
But what do I always tell you? I say stop listening to the internet. Stop listening to the comments.
I mean, everybody calls him Charlotte.
Don't let them trick you out your position. What you did last night is what they want you to do, and you can't let the internet win.
No, but look, it's not even about what they want me to do. I did last night what I wanted to do, what I felt like I should have been did. I've been asking questions.
The internet loves mess. And one of the easiest ways to create mess is to pit people against each other, especially women.
And especially women.
And y'all know that.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. You let the internet dictate what's going on. We've had conversations, and this is the thing. This is why I thought it was corny, and it's just me personally. I thought it was corny because we have conversations up here. We just have a meeting. If you had an issue, a problem, a situation, or something that you felt, why you ain't bring it to the team?
Ever since I came back,
all right, see, this ain't even the clip that I wanted to play. I originally wanted to play the clip with her and the girl. I think that may be on, I believe it might be on Shade Room's page. Few things, just a few things. I am no longer of the belief that conversations like this should be had behind closed doors, because a lot of times when shady things are being done behind closed doors, and then you have a conversation behind closed doors without witnesses, then you get people playing around and doing the dumb shit and making things up. And so in having it on air, yes, it may seem unprofessional, but at the end of the day, this is content. Like, if they're going to be, again, I just said it earlier, if they're going to be running like a podcast, you need podcast level stuff going on. And this is podcast level drama. I will say, I applaud the hell out of her of being professional in her speech and delivery. I applaud her for not getting overly emotional and reactive. I applaud her for having found the words to express exactly how she felt and exactly what she thought. And I think that this is a great demonstration of a black woman who feels slighted and feels as if she's been done wrong, standing up for herself and doing so gracefully. Now, I know the comments do not agree, because I read some. Oh, maybe it's not this one. I'm definitely gonna have to look for the shade room, because I did start reading some of the comments over there, and they were not as kind. Like,
because it's shade room.
Fair. But the shade room comments or the shade room followers, they like who they like and they stand up for who they want to stand up for. And I think that she is one of the people that they don't stand up for. And unfortunately, I feel that sometimes when people think that, you're too strong, or when people think that you have the capacity to be aggressive or whatever, they're not looking to be your hero. They're not looking to save you. They're kind of just like,
they feel threatened.
Not even that. It's kind of just like, you got it. You be all right. Like you can handle it. Because I feel like if it was the other way around, Lauren LaRosa. I feel like if it was the other way around and it was Lauren who was expressing herself and doing all these things, I do believe that they would be more inclined to want to cater and coddle to her. Now, I haven't seen the whole episode of this, so I'm just going to, I don't know how it's played out. However, it's just certain things that I'm seeing in this altercation, and it does make me, feel a little bit of a way, and I can't help it. I'm team Jess, just a smidge.
I mean, with Charlemagne, he likes drama, so this is perfect for him. I don't necessarily want to say Charlotte likes drama, but I think that because he is in the media space, he understands that drama is to be used as fuel. You don't let it go to waste. You don't just do things for the sake of doing things. Like, that's why he was cracking the jokes, trying to, lighten the mood. And when he couldn't lighten it, he kind of just was like, all right, well, have the conversation. And he let her get her shit off. Because it's going to get used. Like, I can only help you but so much. I can steer the conversation and let you know, hey, this may not be the place to do this. But if you want to do this, go ahead. Go ahead. And he's giving her the space to do it. So... But I really wanted to get, it's for, why do they start breaking these up? I thought they just made them longer.
Because this is East Side High, West Side, whatever high we gonna be, we here and we together, so we gotta figure this out. And everything's not a joke. And I can understand some of where you was coming from, but bro, part of that live I thought was crazy. I'm like, what, Jess? Like,
what part did you think was crazy?
What part? Because Lauren, it's not like you didn't hear anything in that live that I haven't said to you.
I heard a lot that you didn't say to me.
Okay, so what part did I not say to you?
Okay, so the part about the talking over each other and the hush, be quiet, because you talk about how you feel in real time, right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling in real time. That be quiet. That was crazy. The shut up. I was like, okay, because
she told her shut
really
up.
Giving up here. Like, what's up?
Okay,
right?
But I didn't. None of that was said. You didn't say anything about that.
And then when I pulled you into the office with our EP with Eddie, the first thing I said to you was, Jess, we fighting for airtime and it shouldn't be like that. I want to know what can I do better as a producer? What can we do better? Because this is East Side High.
About the stories and things like that. You've never said what you just said to me. Now listen. I have said hush, shut up. Like, yo, you overtalk. And I said, I'm not going to be up here fighting for no mic.
You wildin'.
Like,
you
I'm not
can't
doing
talk to
that. If
like
I already
that.
got the job, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not. It's four voices. Three of us are very opinionated. You know what I mean? Me, you, and Charlemagne. I'm not saying Envy don't got no opinion, but he don't jump in every single time there's dead air. You know what I'm saying? When you overtalk. And it's like the only time you can quiet down is somebody be like, shut up or hush.
My mom don't even tell me shut up, Jess. I'm a grown.
And I understand you could have said that on air right then and there, or right after when you saying you put me in the office. You never put me nowhere to tell me that.
Because the way that I do things when it comes to,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, the pulling into the office and bringing the EP. Now you making it seem like she's. I mean, granted, telling somebody to shut up or to hush on air is aggressive. That's aggressive. It's better you know, be quiet and you let her get her shit off, and then you wait for her to be done. You let a little pregnant pause get in there, and then you speak. I mean, she's right. Y'all shouldn't be fighting for the mic, but you also shouldn't be telling people to shut up. But it be little things like that. You pulling me into the office with the EP, that's the same as like you emailing me something and then you CCing my boss so that my boss can see you telling me you got a problem with something I did that they wasn't privy of. So now they don't know what was going on, what made me tell you to shut up. But now they see this situation where you're addressing me about telling you to shut up. And I think that this is why this conversation had to be done on air, because everybody needs to be able to see it. And to some people, being on camera is a motivator to be on your best fucking behavior. Like, let's really talk about it. The camera keeps people accountable, because you don't want to go viral losing your shit like that girl who beat that other girl in the head with the baton. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, hold it down.
My job and my career, that's not what we on. And I told you from the jump, I was never going to give that to you.
Okay.
Ever. And I did or not. Our first conversation, I said, if I ever have an issue with you, I'm going to handle it in a way where we can get through a conversation, because we grown. And regardless, you don't got to love me, you don't got to like me, but we here together. I'm here.
And listen,
about the stories and things like that. You've never said what you just said. That's not, let's first and foremost, let's get that. It may be my delivery or whatever. But yeah, you are here. I ain't never say you shouldn't be here. I said from the whole jump, yeah, Shorty do the job great. She's amazing. That's why I want it to be her segment.
I think y'all can work very well together. And once again, you got to stop letting the internet pit y'all against each other. I know the internet has created a narrative, Lauren versus Jess versus Lauren.
No, but that's what it is.
And that's what I'm trying to say is the internet is there. We see it. None of us can ignore it. I saw that Corey thing a week ago.
Oh, I forgot about the Corey Hope. Yeah, he kind of added spice to it too.
I'm hating on a.
They say I'm gay. I ain't never came up here and said I don't suck no people.
This should have been here. No, it should not. Y'all are
I just want to say,
that comment is correct.
What you feeling, we feel it together. And when that
telling your coworker to hush while on it,
I said that to you. And I responded to that on Twitter. I didn't send it to you. I didn't.
I know, Angela, you
first and foremost, let's get that. It made me my. Ever since I came back, it was weird.
That was the one I just was like, no.
I at first, no, I did not. I wasn't too fond of Lauren. No, I wasn't too fond of her when I came back, because we had a whole plan. Even how when I came back, how I pick her. Right? I come back, she ain't never leave. Then all right, cool that she don't leave.
Okay, but yeah, that's just her repeating the same thing again. I have my thoughts. That's all I can say is I have my thoughts. I
think me personally, I think they all look dumb here, in my opinion.
Dumb?
Yes. Well, for Charlotte, in Charlamagne's case, that's your show. You're the face of it, and it's like you allowing this toxic nonsense. You a hip hop channel, like that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? So it's like DJ Envy. You already know what I said about him. So like,
I mean, see, and I think that this is the problem that I have is this idea that this is quote unquote toxic. Because if you can't have difficult conversations, if you can't have conflict resolution, what is the point?
The thing is, remember, they also have a track record, because remember, Angela Yee fell out with them too. Just hilarious. Would you consider this like a falling out too?
I don't think I would consider it a falling out, only because technically she's still there. For it to be, because basically,
yeah, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Because the Angela Yee stuff was behind the scenes, not really on camera.
Right. And the only thing that I could say is, why would they not have told her before she came back that Lauren was going to be there permanently, or Lauren was going to be on air with her? Like, that is a wild thing for me to have to come back to work and have to be like, oh.
I mean, that's some professional on their part then, in that case. So she has a gripe there. Also, fun fact, I found out Breakfast Club is owned by iHeartRadio.
I feel like that was always the case. No.
Them and Hot 97, I believe.
Yeah, I feel like that was always the case. But yeah, I just think that and because it is such a small team, like I think when it's other spaces and it's kind of just like, you can't like you can't keep track of all of the different moving parts. You can't keep track of all of it. That's different. This is a tight-knit group. It's been a 3-man show forever, since its conception. Now all of a sudden you just like this other person so much that you can't let them go. Fine, but you at least do your due diligence in letting the original cast member or the original replacement know. I think you're rubbing on the mic with something.
My fault. That didn't sound right, but
that's funny. They should have just let her know. Like I feel like if this was a conversation the Sunday before or the Saturday or the Friday before she came back, if there was a team meeting, or because I know they start really early in the morning, so I don't know how much earlier they could have got to work, but it should have been a conversation, or at least that Friday evening, like, hey Jess, can you come to the studio Friday afternoon after we go off the air? Because Lauren was probably on air that Friday or whatever she came back. So yeah, pull up to the studio the day before. We're going to have this team meeting. And then you let it be a thing so people don't walk in blind. And I think that that's a problem. And this is where I may be a little misandrous, but I think this is an issue a lot of times when men are involved in things. They don't consider a woman's feelings and circumventing that. They would much rather put her on the spot and be like, oh, well, she can't really do nothing because then she gonna look crazy, so she gonna have to kind of just eat it. And then you put her in the spot to where now those feelings that she probably could not have expressed in the meeting, she now has to suppress them and try to work around it. And I don't think that that's fair to her at all. And granted, as much as people are saying that, oh, this is messy or oh, this is unprofessional, this is the most professional way to disagree. This is the most professional way to have a meeting. And nobody yelled, nobody cursed, nobody called nobody out their name, nobody stormed out. Like I just don't see what everybody else is seeing, and I'm not saying that that's a problem. Folks is gonna have their opinions, but I don't gotta agree.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, what else was new? Yeah, Kanye just be saying stuff. I don't even.
Oh yes, I do want to talk about that.
I don't, because he just be talking shit, and I don't.
Who the real Jews is, nigga?
It's just the people who support him. That's
And I walk to Africa. I don't give a fuck about the Anunnaki. I don't give a fuck.
And this is exactly why it is so hard for a lot of black women to take leadership from black men. A lot of black men have this weird fixation and obsession with conversations that do not matter. Like, I'm just so glad that a black man, because when black women, when we say these things, y'all don't listen to us, but I'm just so glad that a black man is finally calling it out and pointing it out. Like, a lot of y'all niggas, literally, you believe the first thing that you read online, you don't verify any of your sources, and y'all will sit around and have surface level conversations about some bullshit that you literally read online that half the time is AI generated. Let's clock that. These niggas can't even tell when something is credible and when something is AI. Like, girl, I don't think y'all understand. Like, I have sat in rooms and listened to black men talk about bullshit, talk about a homophobic agenda, talk about the earth being flat, talk about aliens for hours. But when it comes to conversations that actually matter, like let's talk about the community. Let's talk about literacy. Let's talk about fucking food deserts. Let's talk about things that actually matter. It's silence. It's crickets. It's supposed to be our leaders. These are supposed to be the niggas that are leading the revolution. Be so fucking for real. Like, these Dr. Umar ass niggas that don't even take care of their kids, they need to stop. They need to be deplatformed. I really do feel like the Grits and Eggs podcast is the only male podcast that's actually talking about things that actually matter. I'm not taking leadership from no hotep ass nigga that's saying that the earth is flat and saying that we the real Jews. Shut the shit down.
So I came across, because I've been shouting out Deontay Khan for a while now. Grits and Eggs podcast made its way onto my Discover page a while ago, and I've really only interacted with the clips, right? But the clips always seem to be like spot on. Like, I don't know what it was, but the clips just always seem to hit. I tried to watch some of the full episodes, and like most podcasts, you really just got to be there for the conversation, or you kind of just have it on or whatever. But the clips make great content. Like, whatever it is that he's doing, he's getting great content from it. And I think a lot of the things that he's been going viral for saying has definitely been spot on. Like, I've been in rooms where men are talking about aliens and you know, we're the real Moors and blah 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 and all these other things. I've been around the Hebrew Israelites, even though you're not supposed to call them that, but I call them that anyway. But I've been in these spaces and heard them have these conversations, and
the satanic Jews,
and it just be, you know, crazy. We watched all of that crap about Lord Jamar talk about the earth is flat and this, that, and the third. Like, you are somebody who has a platform, who has a certain level of respect and notoriety amongst other black men, and this is what you choose to take your time to do, argue with actual scientists about some shit that's been disproven umpteen times since the first time people thought it. Like, it does beg to differ. Like, what be really going on?
People do shit for clout. Example, Lord Jamar, Kanye's dumbass.
But I don't see this clout word. Y'all just be using clout to mean anything, and I hate that.
But it's perfect for this example, like, especially with I mean, this is a perfect example of it. Lord Jamar, like, being a contrarian is cool and shit, you know. So
it's not cool if you don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's not cool if you just rambling and chatting. Like, at least if you're gonna be contrarian, at least have some inkling of substance or some.
But that's the whole purpose. Is to basically gain attention for clicks and views and all that stuff. Say the opposite things that say the opposite opinion of the consensus, basically, and get attention from it. That's what the goal is. That's how all these goofies be on the internet and all that. So
that's sad.
Yeah, it is.
That is truly sad. But it just was something that's been getting to me. Like, it was this particular clip, and then I think there was another one about
pledging Greek.
So basically, this was after that, and it's unfortunate. That young man who was pledging Omega Sci-Fi, he was being hazed, even though hazing has been outlawed. I don't know how many times.
Hazing has been outlawed where?
Everywhere. Every time. AKAs then got suspended, where they couldn't have any new members because they had been hazing people. But I do believe the Kappas had gotten in trouble once. Either the Kappas or the Alphas had gotten in trouble one time for hazing people. Individual chapters will get in trouble if someone reports them for hazing. So hazing has never been acceptable. So I don't know how many different days and ways they're going to keep trying to sneak and do this stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. So long story less long, this young man was online, was being punched in the chest. He collapses, ends up not being able to breathe. They call the ambulance, which thank God, because most of the times people don't be trying to call the ambulance, but they call the ambulance. I do believe he either died, he was DOA, or he died on the premises. I don't remember, but he ended up passing. And it's just the idea that he was a junior, getting ready to graduate, probably just got his grades together, just got his coins together to be able to pledge, and this had to happen. And it is unfortunate because no parent should have to bury their child. So it just is unfortunate that you send your kid to school thinking they're going to join this organization, they're going to be, locked in for life, they're going to have a great network to build on. He's an engineer, so he has a great career ahead of him. Just super, super, super hopeful. And something so small could take all of that away. And it does make you look at these organizations with a little bit of a side eye, because no matter how much community service you do, no matter how much, great things you do for the community or, for your organization, all of that gets wiped away when people are dying to get in, literally dying to get in. I think it was one year somebody walked into the ocean. They had him walking into the ocean blindfolded and they got swept away by the current. That was one of the incidences. Like, just a bunch of dumb stuff. So when this particular clip went viral, I hate that I had to agree, because I have family members who are Greek letter organizations. I have close friends who are Greek letter organizations. And I would hate to think that they had to withstand some stuff that they could have died doing just so they could, rock these colors and rep these sets. Like, it's really, really, really unfortunate.
Niggas up there think they Play-Dohs. Socrates and shit.
Yo, for Clark Homecoming, I seen it.
That's crazy.
Hebrew Israelites
crazy.
yelling at niggas because they had their Greek shit on. Y'all niggas is Greek. Y'all niggas is black. They was yelling at these. These is college kids.
No, we gotta get it knowledge. Get them while they still malleable.
Yeah. They was doing the knowledge though. They was doing the knowledge.
The knowledge. Hey, look, I'm telling you, bro. The Hebrew Israelite, them niggas broke the clock twice a day type vibe.
Right.
Nah, they absolutely right.
Yeah.
First of all, what you niggas doing talking about you Greek?
Yeah.
Huh?
You niggas is black. Y'all ain't Greek.
Yeah.
Take that shit out. They was going.
That's the type of shit that make a nigga bring up the Moors right there. The Moorish Empire expanded into Greece. 1420 BC.
Yeah.
The nigga do the knowledge on that too. Shit, you niggas, you at HBCU, nigga. We need to start getting some Orishas.
Yeah.
Let's get Ocean. Where the ocean?
Yeah.
Where Oshun at?
Yeah.
Where Ogun at? Yeah, where they at?
Yeah.
Let's really rock that purple and gold. Let's really do that.
Let's do it. Yeah, emotion. All
All that. We need all that. Yeah.
Let's get right.
Where a Nazi at?
Yeah.
These niggas is...
No, let's really dig. Let's
so
really reach back to the motherland.
Yeah.
And pledge that.
Exactly.
Niggas is pledging Greek fraternities. Then, first of all, to start that in the early 1900s. For niggas to be fresh out of slavery, like, we Greek. Do the knowledge on
Like, we just tired of being black.
Fresh than Jim Crow.
Nigga went from slavery to Jim Crow. Oh, we Greek.
Shit.
Hey, yo, niggas gonna be mad at us with this shit.
Fuck, man.
They cooking. Stoves on them.
What nigga gonna shimmy his way over here?
Nah.
Let a nigga shimmy around me and see if that mask gonna come out. Huh? See if I'm gonna start grunting and switching in that motherfucker.
Yeah, we got a fraternity too.
No, we got
the YN fraternity.
YN fraternity. You heard it here first. YN fraternity started an original concept for the Grits and Eggs podcast, original organization. YN fraternity. You join our shit, you get a Nike Tech, a Nike Ski, black forces. Nigga.
No,
that's what you get. That's our colors.
Black on black.
We don't got no letters. We got numbers. 187.
Oh my goodness. I shouldn't laugh because this is not funny.
Funny but true.
It's not funny. Because granted, I've seen great things done by some of these organizations, but it was always interesting to me because I grew up with a guy who he joined Groove-Fi Groove, which was the anti-Greek fraternity that was, I don't even remember what they were founded on or what the situation was, but I do remember they went through all of the same similar steps. You applied, you pledge, you go through all of this stuff, you cross, and then you get your letters. And I wonder if he is still affiliated with them, because I had only seen them that one time, and it was crazy because they reminded me of what was the fake fraternity in what was it, School Days? Damn, I don't remember what it was, but they had the same colors. I think it was like black and silver. And they were like, yeah, black people don't got nothing to do with the Greeks. Like, we believe in the brotherhood. We believe in the, uplifting the community. We believe in all of this other stuff. But we not about to claim no Greek letters. We not about to,
which are colors and all that.
Yeah, we not about to join up under that. So they created their own thing. And I remember laughing at him. I remember laughing at him about it because I was like, that is so corny. Like, if you want to do the thing, just do the freaking thing. Like, just do the thing. But
that he did.
But I get it now. Like, I get it now why that was, I guess, quote unquote, revolutionary. Because why do you want to be associated? Like, all of the other stuff aside, the fellowship, the service, the black accent, all of that aside, why assume those traditions? Because white Greek letter organizations, if they want to do that, cool. But why do we always have to want to do our version of what they doing? Like, why can't we ever just honestly and truly make some stuff for ourselves? It's always not always, but a lot of the times it's remixing something that they didn't want us to do. They didn't want us to be a part of. So we're just going to come over here and make our own. But it's still the same. It's the same thing. And then y'all be letting them in. The amount of white deltas and white kappas I done seen in my lifetime, it's like, what was the reason?
I mean, they assimilate the whiteness. That's what it is.
But what was the reason?
I mean, America. That's the reason. Like, what other reason is there? Like,
America.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, listen.
Well, people lost their identity. Like slavery, Jim Crow happened, like you said. You got motherfuckers thinking they FBAs. They're not African. They're just Black American and all that stuff.
Well, I know
I'm going off tangent, but I'm just saying, like, they assimilate the whiteness. Like, they reject their ancestry, kind of. And that's due to living here.
Well, you can't necessarily say they are rejecting their ancestry, because I am, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm more inclined to believe that back in 1906, which is when the first Black Greek letter organization was founded, I don't think them niggas knew or remembered or had any ties to any ethnicity outside of Black American. So I won't be quick to discredit. I won't be quick to discredit FBA or ADOS and all those people, because there is something to be said. If you don't know exactly what part of Africa you came from or where your lineage began, you have no choice but to begin in here, where you could trace back to actual,
I will say,
what you call it, paperwork here.
I will say the Reconstruction happened during that time, and at that period, Black people did have some knowledge of self and where they came from and all that stuff. It's just Jim Crow and slavery happened. They kind of washed that away and all that.
See, I'm not the history person, so I don't even know if that timeline is true. But
that's why I'm here. Because Jim Crow started in the 1920s. The Tulsa Massacre happened in that timeline, and then ended in 1920s.
Wait, 1920s?
1920. That's when Jim Crow started, around that point in time.
Huh. Okay.
Because like 1865 was the end was the emancipation and all that. And between that was the Reconstruction period, Frederick Douglass and all that. But enough of the history lesson. But that's my abridged version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like me, for instance, I went to school I went to college at a predominantly white institution, but the Black people were definitely very tight knit. And they were also very tight knit amongst all of their different, Divine Nine groups.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the orientation where they told you about all of the groups, and they gave you the calendar events so you could go and meet all of the different organizations, and you could kind of make your picks and stuff like that. And sometimes even you were approached by certain people and asked to pledge. And I remember being there and just listening, and you hear about all of the stuff that they stand for and the things that they believe in and all of that. And it's like, yeah, cool. But then you start hearing about the actual practices. Like, I ain't going to put the specific group on blast, but I remember there were a few of my homegirls who all wanted to pledge this one particular group. And they were all, on quote unquote line. And part of their hazing was there was a house party, and they were all called in to come and clean the house after the house party. Regular harmless stuff. So apparently the house was trashed. They had to do some real deep cleaning, like get in there, get some stuff, you know what I mean? Like get the house together. And there were some other tasks that they were given as well. And then from what we understood out the blue, they just dropped the line. They said, you know what? Nope, none of y'all are good enough. We're dropping all of y'all. So you done got all of this free labor, all of this free, whatever out of these people. And you just could decide you don't want them to be a part of your organization. And then
it's going to be a brawl.
That's it.
Through all that craziness.
And I think from that moment on, I kind of just like, you know what? That may not be for me.
Yeah.
And I just went and made friends with people in different organizations. Like I had a close homegirl of mine who was a Zeta. I had another close homegirl of mine who was a Delta. And then, there were AKAs sprinkled in here and there. I think at the time we didn't have any SG rows on campus. I think there was I do remember the year after me, there was a girl who she crossed by herself because she was considered legacy. So she was the only person, because her mom was SG row, so she was the only person who signed up to cross that year. So she was her own line sister. It was literally just her dolo. And I thought that was so dope because, to be able to stand alone like that and not have nobody with you, and then to see how everybody supported her and really came out for her. I thought that was amazing too, because probates are huge. Probates are freaking huge, especially in the South. So don't get it twisted. The pageantry of it all, the all of that other stuff, it's a big deal. I remember going to a probate one time. I think it was my first one on my campus. It was the Alphas. They had dudes riding in on horses. It was 4 of them, and they rode in on horses coming down the lane into our common area in front of the student center. That was dope. I remember going to other schools with some of the other, people who were in other organizations. I saw a line of 100 and something girls cross. 100 and something girls signed up to be a part of this organization. And they get, reintroduced into the world as their new, Greek personas. And it's a big thing. Family supported, friends supported. There are posters, and it's a great thing. But I would hate to feel like all of that is done in vain because these organizations don't make it because niggas is hazing and causing people to die. Because I don't know how many other stories we're gonna hear about people passing away before they end up doing away with the tradition altogether, because it just shouldn't be happening. It truly just should not be happening. So the Deontay Kyle, shout out to Grits Egg podcast and all of that. He could joke and laugh about it, but this is getting crazy now. It doesn't happen often, thank God. But when it does happen, it's did y'all not learn from the last time? Why? What is happening? What is going on?
These Negroes don't learn.
Yeah, it just be too much. It be too much. But yeah, again, I'll say, R.I.P. to that young man. Thoughts and prayers to his family, because I know for a fact. Oh, I did see this. I don't think I want to talk about that. Okay. This I did want to get into. I ain't even gonna hold you. This I wanted to get into because I was like,
I got my thoughts on this, but you gonna go first?
See, I'm not even. So
I'm a history guy.
Trumpski's administration removes longstanding ban on segregated facilities in federal contracting rules. So, following a recent move by the Trump administration, the federal government has lifted the explicit ban on contractors maintaining segregated facilities like restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. This change to the segregation clause is part of a broader update highlighted in a public memo released by the General Services Administration last month, impacting all civil federal agencies. The memo outlines adjustments made in response to President Trump's executive order on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which rolled back an executive order from President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965 that enforced non-discrimination for federal contractors. Additionally, the memo touches on Trump's executive order related to gender identity. Although the state and federal law still prohibits... go back up. Come on now.
See, I hate comments like that, but I'm gonna hold that.
Still prohibit segregation and discrimination that companies must follow. Legal experts point out that this shift in federal contracting rules is a major development. So see, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that mean?
I'm gonna tell you what it means. He's doing all this shit for show. Because something like this could easily get blocked by judges. So all the, like this right here is just a distraction. You know, so it's like it's to stoke fear in the people basically. But yeah, this could easily get contested in court or by different states and shit. So he's not really saying nothing with this or doing anything. If he really did something, just remove the Civil Rights Act, which good luck. You're not gonna do shit with that. But like I said, this is all to pander to his base and all the idiots saying, yeah, let's bring back segregation.
But what does this mean? Like, I don't understand what that means. Like,
he's trying to be a dictator, basically. That's what it means.
The explicit ban on contractors maintaining segregated facilities like restaurants, waiting rooms, and drink. Like, what do you mean, contractors? What contractors? Like, I don't understand.
Like, how can I put it?
And what the hell is wrong with my ChatGPT? Why won't it start? What the hell?
It's basically like if you're a federal employee, that's who gets affected by this. Or in this case, a federal contractor. And these comments are fucking stupid.
I mean,
it's stupid because the reason why people say dumb shit like that is they never lived during Jim Crow. Imagine a slave saying, damn. Imagine a free slave living in Jim Crow saying, damn, we should go back to being slaves again because this Jim Crow stuff ain't it. That's how stupid people sound when they say we should go back to Jim Crow.
Well, I don't know if they're necessarily saying we should go back to Jim Crow. I think they're trying to say that we should go back to segregation.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Where, what does it mean that? I think that what they're saying is like we should go back to buying and shopping and only dealing with our own, because all of the money that we spend trying to keep up with the Joneses and spending on these white owned, fashion houses, spending on these white, in these white owned establishments and stores, spending in these, places where we are not valued. Like the fact that, like when J. Cole went to go buy that ugly ass Tesla, and they didn't want to they didn't want to talk to him to take his money because they don't know who this mop head black beige man is. Like, they don't know that he's a celebrity. They just see somebody who's not white, so they don't care. Same thing with, I think it's that streamer, I Show Speed. He went somewhere because he likes expensive cars. He was going to buy a fast car from some man. He flat out refused it. No, I don't care how much money you want. I just don't want you to have this car. Like, y'all want these things that these people are actively telling you we don't want you in. Lululemon. There was a girl who went viral because they assumed she stole a hat after she spent $600 and something in Lululemon. And this was after it already came out that Lululemon was like, yeah, we never really intended. Granted, I don't know how true that is because I used to hear that growing up too. They said, what was it? Ralph Lauren? No, Tommy Hilfiger. How Tommy Hilfiger said he never wanted black people in his clothes, and yet they never had the quote unquote proof that he said it. Again, these are people who do not value you, who do not have your best interests at heart. These are people and businesses that are taking your money, your hard-earned money that you gotta work up for, or scam, steal, or lie, cheat, however you get it. You take that money and you spend with these people, and they in turn take those profits and fund somebody like Trump. So it just don't make no sense why we have to wish for or hope for segregation for our people to be like, yo, enough is enough. Like, enough is enough. All right, so it finally came back. It says the administration's decision to lift an explicit ban means that companies doing business with the federal government will no longer be explicitly prohibited from having separate spaces based on race, sex, or other protected characteristics. This change would have rolled back previous regulations that explicitly forbade segregation in facilities used by employees of federal contractors, while other civil rights laws, such as the Civil Rights Act, you mentioned that, of 1964, still broadly prohibits racial and other forms of discrimination. Removing an explicit ban could have weakened enforcement or created legal ambiguity around whether certain forms of segregation were permissible under federal contracting rules. Yes. Would I like more context? Yes.
It's basically allowing businesses to be racist, pretty much. And they say this guy is not racist, apparently.
Who are federal contractors?
I think it's like any major company, probably.
Okay, yeah, this is what I needed to know. So let me read this. The change, blah, 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 reasoning. Okay, so the reasoning behind such deregulation was often framed as eliminating burdensome or redundant rules, though critics argued that it weakened the protections against discrimination. The specific ban that was lifted had been a part of the federal contracting regulations to reinforce civil rights protections while ensuring that workplace and facilities used by government contractors were not segregated. While broader civil rights laws still prohibit segregation, having an explicit ban in contracting regulations made enforcement clearer and more direct. Critics of the ban warned that it could signal a weakening of civil rights protections and open the door to discriminatory practices under the guise of separate but equal accommodations, which has historically been used to justify segregations. Supporters of the change, on the other hand, argued that such rules were unnecessary because other laws already prohibited discrimination. In practical terms, the removal might have made it harder for the government to take immediate action against contractors engaging in subtle or de facto segregation. However, any company that has implemented open segregated spaces would still have faced legal challenges under existing anti-discriminatory laws. So he's
basically looking out for businesses, pretty much.
Federal contractors, range from large corporations to small businesses, defense contractors, technology and consulting firms, construction and infrastructure companies, and service providers. These companies must comply with regulations. Okay, whatever. Interesting. interesting because honestly, and this is not even government related, I've seen how contractors have already been racially segregated just from working in tech.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget, I did a new office build with the company, and we had electricians, carpenters, IT, and it was another group. Electrician, carpenters, and AV. Mm-hmm. The AV group, they were all black and hood black. Mm-hmm. Then you had the electricians. I do believe they were all Italian, perhaps, or no, or the contractors were Italian. But there were two separate white groups. I'll say that. I don't remember which one was which, but there were two separate white groups based on what their particular contract was. And then you had IT, which was a mix because I was on the team. It was another black guy who was the team lead, and then we had two Spanish guys who also worked with us. One was brought on as a replacement, but we were the only diverse group, the IT contractors. Everybody else was like so homogenous it hurt, and I just couldn't understand all of the people who did the hard construction stuff. They were all low-key Mexican. And, those were the ones who were building the stairs, putting in the glass, doing this, doing that. The guys who did all of the, the easy stuff, so to speak, they were all pretty white. And that's just how it was. And I don't think anybody else paid attention to that just because, people are just there to do their job and go home. But it was something that made my eyes perk up because I was one of the only women in the space who wasn't doing office work or something like that. I was there pretty much getting my hands dirty, so to speak. And so I just say that to say I just thought that was the norm. So now to read this and be like, oh, they had to lift a ban so that they could kind of make this a federal thing. I'm just not understanding how, I would assume that it was already there. But having restaurants, waiting rooms, or drinking fountains, this is how y'all can't even have lunch in the cafeteria with black. Y'all can't. Are y'all okay?
Imagine if how IT, the way you described it, was set up back then. It'd be very different if you really think about it.
Oh, what do you mean?
Pretty much, you probably wouldn't be in that position that you were in that move.
Fair.
Same as the AV guys, it would have been completely white.
Fair.
So I'm saying it'll be vastly different. Of course, they're going to use the Mexicans to do whatever they want. Matter of fact, Mexicans, black, would be doing the harder labor, basically.
I mean, it was crazy because it was they had the other, we were on one side of the office, they was on the other side. And I remember when we finally got to setting up the workstations on their side of the building, it was they had their own table where they all ate lunch together. They had a mini fridge with a padlock on it. So only they could put their stuff in this fridge and only they had access to this stuff. They had their own tools and stuff that only they could use, and they had their own everything that they had was separate.
And everybody was contracted too, right?
Yeah, everybody was. It was different contract. The AV guys, I forgot what company they were because I did ask, but I remember the AV guys. They were just there to set up all the TVs, set up all the conference rooms and stuff like that. Make sure all of that stuff was good. And I never saw them eat lunch. I never saw where they was at. The tech. Us on the tech team, we kind of just stayed on the floor where we were working on because it was a 2-floor office. So we kind of, whatever floor we were working on, whatever section we were working on, that's where we would just eat. We would go grab our food, come back. But the fact that we saw the other guys had a table, they had chairs, they had this set up, they had, you know what I mean? They had a whole thing. And it just was oh, this is very different. And I think that was the first time I had ever really took it into consideration to pay attention. So to hear this is why I'm just so, I would assume that was already happening. I don't think the black.
I think in that case though, since you mentioned it was contractors, it's basically you don't really get the the rights that a permanent employee would get, like, or the protections of a permanent employee. Because that's how I see it with contractors and a permanent employee. Like, permanent employees would have a little more privilege and more protection as far as the job goes. Like, your job security is much safer if you're permanent compared to like a contractor, where like they could get rid of you like that because they could just replace you easily if you're a contractor. If that makes sense.
I mean, well, yeah, because like I said, we did see a guy on our team get replaced. I don't even remember what it was that he did, but I think he just didn't show up.
I remember one time, right? I was doing I was working in the Google building up in 14th and 8th.
Oh, okay.
It was like, so basically I was scheduled to be there for like at least 8 hours. Mm-hmm. But the work went beyond that, but I still had to go. So I let the leading person know, like, listen, I gotta head out, I gotta take care of something or whatever. It was like, all right, just sign out and we'll see you tomorrow, basically. And then so next day I'm going into the job site, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And the lead tech was basically telling me, "Oh no, we just replaced you." Shit, I don't know. I thought they didn't. I thought they called you about it. I was like, "What you mean you replaced me?" and stuff like that. And then she was like, "No, just replace you." They didn't tell me anything, so I'm like, "Whatever." And then I called my contact, and then I basically went off on him pretty much. It was like, "Yo, why the fuck you didn't tell me this the night before, having me waste my time going all the way downtown for this shit?" Like.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of messed up, but
that was Smart Source, by the way.
Ooh, not you throwing them under the bus.
Yeah.
But
well, formerly known as Smart Source.
I mean, yeah, I don't even remember what it was that old boy did, because I do remember there's only been two projects I've been on where I've seen people get replaced. One dude had to get replaced, like he was wilding. But this particular time, I don't remember what he did. And then the dude that they replaced him with, they actually ended up hiring once the job was done, because the guy who was the lead, he was the company contact. I guess he got promoted. Somebody left, so he got promoted into that spot, and then they needed somebody else. And so they picked the guy who they replaced the other person with, and so they've been working together, which has been cool, you know, because I ended up getting I had to do a day with him one time because the lead went on vacation, and they have it to where they need 2 people on site, and I really didn't do anything that day. Like, I just sat in the room. I think he had like maybe 2 tickets that he had to take care of that day, but nobody came to the tech bar. Nobody, you know, had any major issues. So I pretty much just was there chilling the whole day, not doing much. But yeah, I just didn't think that this would be a thing. And for this to be making news, I don't know if this is like a distraction or like I don't know.
Wait, scroll back up. There's one comment that basically speaks to what I'm saying. Oh, no, keep going. That one. Wait, you missed it. Go down.
You can scroll too. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, you went all the way. What's that? This one. Just don't bomb our establishment when you see us surviving and thriving.
Yeah, but see, I think this is going too far, because from what I just read, it's not that deep. Like, this is just to rile people up.
No. I'm saying in response to what you were saying when I was saying, like, all the people saying, yeah, let's go back to segregation. Like, that comment is like a direct response to that. Because that's something this country would do.
Do you think they would be able to do it and get away with it?
Yes, they definitely would. They got away with it before.
Yeah, but there was no cameras back then. There was no social media back then. There was no global platform back then. Do you think that they would be able to do it again?
Yes. Outside of George Floyd? Yes. And also, remember, they bombed Philly back in the 80s, too. And I believe they got.
There was no social media in the 80s.
True.
There was no internet.
But again, even with social media and all the stuff we've seen in the last 10 plus years,
we've never seen nothing on that level.
I mean, of course not. But I'm saying, like, we've seen black people get murdered on camera.
But they always use there's always a fake justification.
I'm saying they'll find a fake justification.
How can you? And I think I think that's an irrational fear.
No, it's not. It's not really irrational. It's more.
It is, because what could you justify? Like today, in the year of our Lord 2025, if everyone in, since you mentioned Philly, if everyone in Philly decided they weren't going to shop at any white stores, wherever they had their own, you know, their own, what you call it, they were just going to start building Philly to be the black city. Their own banks, their own schools, their own this, their own that. That's what they were going to do. If they were to bomb Philly right now, or if they were to bomb Philly because of that, you don't think that the world would be able to see that and be like, oh no, that's blatantly like that. Like everything else could be questionable. Everything else could be questionable. Oh, he shouldn't have been selling loose cigarettes. That's illegal. He shouldn't have been in a neighborhood he didn't live in. That's trespassing. He shouldn't have been, running from the cops. So whatever other reason that they've been able to have for why all of these other black people have been murdered in cold blood, on camera, off camera, whatever. Do you think that they would be able to justify bombing a successful, thriving black city today?
Yes, because propaganda is a hell of a drug. Propaganda in the U.S. is pretty strong, and plus, it's like who's gonna be held accountable for that? You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Say that again?
I said I don't know what you're saying, because to me, I think it's an irrational fear. I think it's that social experiment where, you know what I mean? They say how they put all the animals in a cage, and when one tries to get out, you beat all the other animals or you torture all the other animals. And so now anytime an animal tries to get out, they all jump on that animal and try to not get it, to the point where now they don't even have to torture them. It's just ingrained in them now to not want to get out. And if they try, all of the other animals is going to tell them, nah, don't do that, because something bad is going to happen. I think this fear of, oh, they're going to bomb us, they're going to this, they're going to that, that's what's been keeping black people complacent in giving in.
Oh, no, I mean, no. What's keeping them complacent is so many distractions. That's what's keeping them complacent. Like,
this is yet another distraction, because I don't know what this has to do with black people other than
I agree, this is
all of these people complaining and upset and talking about stuff that don't really matter. And then on top of that, a lot of it makes me feel a way about how I don't know if niggas is really willing to die for this shit. And I think that's the biggest issue. I think, the part of the reason why people don't want to try again is because they know they're not willing to die for this. They know they're not really, I believe it. Do not engage. Let them I'm just saying.
And then there's also another thing. There's black people that run with that narrative that, oh, we was better off before segregation, which is a bold-faced lie right there.
I mean, no, you mean before integration. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's all the way true. I mean, that's untrue.
No, that's not true at all. Like,
when black people had to patron their own stores, build their own businesses, stay to themselves in their own communities, if it wasn't for white people infiltrating and starting shit, I think they would have been just fine. Like, if they would have allowed black people to stay in their own communities and just do what they had to do, I don't know.
I mean, but who's gonna okay, say for argument's sake though, who's gonna fund like the roads, the transportation in these black communities?
The taxpayers. The same way that, like, if we would have continued to advance and industrialize the way that we've had, and the only difference was we were not integrated. So that means we would have had our own black schools, we would have had our own black hospitals, we would have had our own black colleges, we would have had our own black businesses, we would have had everything would have been black owned.
No, but the problem is government funds all that, and they're gonna underfund the hell out of those communities in favor of the white people, the white communities, that is. That's what I mean.
That's what they're doing now. So what's the difference?
It was pretty much far worse back then. What's going on now is more private schools, and then black people gotta deal with the public schools that are underfunded.
That's the same thing.
No, it's a small difference, because back then black people were cut out of public schools. Black people are
and they could have just started their own schools. They could have got a building in their neighborhood, and there would have been someone who went to a historically black college that could have started a school and could have educated the black kids on all of the things that the black kids needed to know.
But I'm saying you also need the funding. That's the problem right there. And also, the one thing that's consistent between then and now is the black and white wealth gap is still, it's getting wider. But even back then, it was, it's much worse now. But back then, it was, I don't know how to gauge it. But back then, it was like we would cut out of everything pretty much.
So what is the difference then now?
The difference then is we would cut out a benefit, like certain benefits and privileges that we have now compared to then.
But we wouldn't have needed it. Like, that's the whole point. If we would have been in our own communities, we wouldn't have needed the benefits of any, like, even if...
So do you think black people were able to fund their own health care back then?
The only thing that they probably wouldn't have,
That's the government, but that's what I'm saying. That's the government's job to provide their people with health care, is what I'm saying. They wouldn't, back then they wouldn't do that for black people. Now, obviously, they won't because, again, like, healthcare is privatized here for a reason. You know, that's why I say this. They wouldn't be free healthcare in this country because black people and Latinos have rights. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna put black people in debt now in this case.
Again, only because I'm not well versed on the laws and the legality. I'm just thinking of it from a...
I get what you mean, though, but it's just that is also a big black cloud hovering over.
Matter of fact, let me just look at it. During segregation, how were black hospitals and schools funded? So yeah, they had black communities and churches often raise their own funds. They played a critical role in education, funding and housing schools, and sometimes providing health care. The HBCU, that's what I'm saying. They started, that's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't necessarily need, but that's what I'm saying. All we had to do was keep building from that foundation. If we never wanted to run to go and integrate with everybody else, we would have stayed to a certain level. Because again, once it became like everything black people touch turned to gold. Whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's education, whether it's innovation, no matter what it is. So they would have eventually had to pay black people for all of the things that came about. Like, could you imagine if the black person who invented GPS had still owned the patent on that and was able to benefit from that to this day, to where they couldn't have just gotten it taken because they had to go to this particular white institution to be able to create it, or any other invention of black people. If we didn't have to attach ourselves to these white institutions, we would not have gotten our credit stripped away from those things, and we could have used that to further the black community, if you will. This need for integration, this need for intermingling has definitely put black people back, because now you don't have to worry about your neighbor. You don't have to go to your black florist down the block and pay $30 for his bouquet, because now you're allowed to call 1-800-FLOWERS and get it delivered for a fraction of the price, because they want your money. They don't want they don't want you to talk about them. They don't want you to big them up. They don't want to do nothing for you but take your money. So I think that there is some legitimacy to the argument that we didn't all have to jump on the bandwagon. No, and that's all I could.
No, I hear you that, but the frustration is legitimate because we've been screwed over since the '60s. But remember what was going on in the 60s. MLK got bodied. Malcolm got bodied.
Again, no internet, no social media. It took people, I don't know how long to find out these things. I'm talking about now. Why are we still in fear of doing this for ourselves now?
It's not about fear. It's about how the system's set. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I... It's not necessarily a fear. It's basically like, there's so many distractions that's going on. Like people don't know financial literacy. Like, education is obviously terrible. They're freaking banning books in the South when it comes to Black history right now. So it's like how is anybody gonna learn to progress anything when the system is basically undermining?
But we don't need everybody to do it at the same and I think that's a part of the problem too. Is like we worry about the wrong shit. There's enough Black people who understand financial literacy to where all it takes. Like, Black people don't believe nothing that you can't show and prove. Like, let's start there. So you're not going to sit nobody down in front of anything and be like, this concept is going to work. You just have to they have to see it work. That is why so many people jumped on all of them scams that they jumped on, whether it was the real estate scams, whether it was the crypto scams, whatever it was, it's because they could show and prove. I could show you giving me $50 and then I could show you having $500 to $5,000 in your account the next day. I could show you this title or whatever to this person's house, and then I could show you the paper, the bill of sales for me selling this house for however many X of that. So it doesn't matter if all of these other people who may not be as financially savvy or whatever the case may be, they may not be knowledgeable. It doesn't matter that they don't get on board first. For all the Black people who know better and who have the knowledge, it's up to them to do it. And then when the people who don't have the knowledge is like, yo, what's going on over there? How y'all get, what y'all doing over there? That's how they get integrated. That's how they get to become a part of it. Again, it's just a lot of excuses that people keep making, and the reason is just y'all don't want to do it.
No, but like but I would say this: integration was definitely necessary because Black people damn sure needed their rights and equality here.
What rights and what equality have we had? That's what we've been complaining about this whole time. Since they quote unquote gave it to us, all we've been doing is complaining about, separate but not equal has been it never. Those pieces of paper never did anything. We're still getting incarcerated at higher rates. We're still being denied at higher rates for things. We still have to deal with redlining and all of this shit. We still have to deal with, having to work twice as hard to get half as much. None of that changed. So what did it really help?
You said, what did it really help?
Yeah, what did it really help?
I mean, again, look what happened. Like, the crack era happened. The Panthers got undermined. And they was literally doing what you was mentioning. They was trying to protect their people, educate their people, and feed their people because the government wouldn't do it themselves. Government saw that and took them out. Shit, one of the Black Panthers is still living in Cuba right now. He's probably in the late 70s right now.
Oh, word?
Yeah, Sada Shakur.
That
was one of my cousin's neighbors. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
and I think I mentioned that there's like in Ohio there's like a group of Black militants that's just basically protecting the Black community from neo-Nazis and all that.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was something about a rally they had out there.
See, I'm with stuff like that because the way this era of America's going on, it's like. They're trying to lift the mask off on racism, basically.
Oh, yeah, this was sad. Yeah, I guess we could lighten the mood and talk about Love and Hip Hop bullshit. I stopped watching Love and Hip Hop, I don't know how many seasons ago, honestly, just because it just got to be too ridiculous. Like, it was too ridiculous. People stopped the show stopped being about people making music, started being about who's sleeping with who's fighting who. Yeah, I remember Love and Hip Hop when it first started. I think every season
Jim Jones
had one or two people coming out with songs. Like I remember Olivia used that time to come out with her song. Cardi B used the platform to springboard her musical career. A couple of other people used to come out and have songs, you know, because it was always, oh, I'm in the studio with so-and-so, but I'm sleeping with such and such producer and I can't get this and da-da-da-da, and this person owns my song. All of that. And it stopped being about that and just became about mess, and more mess. And so I did see this earlier today where, one, I didn't know Amara La Negra's son, baby father was...
Dominican?
Yeah, I didn't know he was Spanish. I thought it was the Flavor of Love girl's brother who was the baby father.
She was no. They was together and she broke up with him and then got with this dude and had her twins. And then she got with Safari or something like that.
Yeah, he does mention that. But I saw this and I just was like, oh my gosh. Because I think this is ridiculous. Oh, oops.
Of course I got feelings. I respect you. I don't even know what we're having this conversation right now.
The only thing I requested was you to put it in a cup because I only wanted you to be the only father of my children. But I know that when I asked you, you said you had to ask your wife. And I'm not trying to be a side to no man.
You had
his wife
situation with Safari, but now you're trying to make.
You're the one who's married. You've always been married, and I'm still here trying to make some work.
Wait a minute.
She was married. You know, he was married. While he
So
got with
she
her.
left her boyfriend to sleep with a married man.
No, she didn't leave him. They broke up, and she met this dude. Now, she didn't know he was married until after the fact.
Okay.
You don't deserve me, and I'm here. I'm telling you, what do you need me to do? I've waited. Let me fix my situation. Till when? Till when you need me to wait for you? Oh my God. You don't even have the balls to tell me, yes, I want to be with you, or no. You leave me lingering, knowing that I love you. And you play with my emotions. Why do you do this to me? Just tell me no, so I can move on. I haven't been able to move on from you. I faked this so that I can move on with my life, and I haven't been able to. I always have hope that maybe one day you'll see the value in me. One day you'll see that I'm a good woman. This hurts me. Just tell me no. Say no. And I promise I'll leave you alone, but you never say no. You always say maybe. And there's only so much I can wait. Don't do this to me.
I don't want to play with you.
But you do it. You're doing it now. You say for me to wait till you've solved your situation so that we can be a family. If you're never going to be my family, just say that.
I mean, it's got to be acting at this point.
If we're never going to be a household, then I'm going to be a single mother and I'm going to continue having a broken home till I find somebody else that's willing to love my children and me. Just say that.
I don't know.
I don't deserve this, and I feel humiliated.
Girl,
I don't deserve to be humiliated because I'm a good woman. Mother came to the house and had a conversation. She said that you had told her that you still loved me, that you had feelings for me, all these other things.
And then where did the tears go? See, I don't like when women do this. I don't like when women do this at all. Where did the tears go?
Of course, I got feelings. I respect you.
Yo, get the fuck out
was this the beginning?
I don't even know what we're having this conversation.
Oh, this was the beginning. Never mind. That was the beginning. That was the beginning. Never mind. I almost lost it. So, you know, I was about to get real mad. I don't.
You're, first of all,
you know,
you're on Telemundo. Your kids are not coming from a broken home.
Wait, huh?
No, I mean she does she's on Telemundo, like talk shows and stuff like that.
But how does that mean her kids are not coming from a broken home?
No, I mean she like the way she said it is like, wait, what do you mean a broken home? Like you built this structure around your children. You built your own wealth and a specific structure to take care of your two daughters on your own without this loser ass nigga right here. Like I get her reasoning for like not having kids from different men and stuff like that. You know, but it's like begging him to get back with you, have more kids with you is kind of crazy. My opinion.
Because what do I want to say?
Like, where's your pride at? Like, the fuck?
I too would like to know where is her pride, because there's no way you could have known that this man was married and you fell for I'm gonna leave my wife for you. If it's not divorce.
Oh no, she found no. She didn't know he was married when she got pregnant. She found out like after she got.
I'm just going based off of what she just said. You know he's married, and he's telling you want another baby. He has to ask his wife, and the fact that didn't tell you in your brain,
move the fuck on.
He's never going to leave her, to where now you're crying and carrying on TV about how he's leaving you lingering. I think that's a problem.
Like, where's your self-worth, woman?
Like, you're a gorgeous woman. I hear men talk about how amazingly beautiful you are every day. I am pretty sure, just like how you found this man after the last relationship, you will find another man who will be willing to marry you and give you other kids, and that way you can have kids in wedlock. Because granted, I have a homegirl who was, her man wasn't married, but she had kids with somebody, or she had a kid with somebody. It didn't necessarily work out with them together, but she says he's a great parent. When she wanted another kid, she got another kid from him. Mm-hmm. So I know women who have that mentality. However, this added caveat of he is a married man still, not separated, not going through a divorce, still actively married. I think there is a problem in her crying and complaining about him leaving her lingering. I think that is a bigger indicator of a problem. Like, I don't know what that's about. And this is why I couldn't deal with this show. Like, if it wasn't the Rashida and Kurt situation, and I think I didn't think it was worse than Rashida and Kurt and Jasmine until I came across this. She's so beautiful, she doesn't know her worth. Married men talk a good game, but they never leave their wives. Yeah, when it came to Rashida, Kurt, and that Jasmine girl, that man lied until the baby was there. And then when they had the baby, then it becomes, I stepped out of my marriage, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Then you got him on podcast talking about, Rashida stepped out on me too. Sir, what?
Bro, this nigga's Dominican. You know how Dominican married men roll.
Hey, yo.
Like, come on.
I do not, what's the word? The thoughts and opinions expressed are not.
My closest homie's Dominican, though. He ain't do none of this nefarious shit, though, but he knows niggas.
But it's just this idea that she has to wait and he has to say, which, I get it. I don't know why it's so difficult for men to just be like, no, it's not. I'm not going to leave her. I just said that. Like,
to be empathetic, like, I get where she's coming from, because they have two common denominators between them. It's their children, basically. So I get where she's coming from with that, but again,
I don't get the tears. I don't get any of this. Like, it's giving begging, she wants to be on Tyler Perry. Like, I don't understand, because just logically this doesn't make sense. Because again, if you want more kids, again, you're a woman of a certain age, so I get it. The clock is ticking. You want kids. If you don't think you're gonna be able to find your husband in the same amount of time that you'll be able to get pregnant and have this third kid, I understand all of that. But this man is actively telling you, I have to ask my wife if it is okay for me to give you another child. That should be all the wake-up call you need. That's it. That's it. Like, I don't understand what more could you need. Sitting here talking about you need him to tell you this. And the fact that he can't tell you that is an even bigger indicator.
The answer's literally right there in your face. But I guess she just doesn't want to accept it.
I mean, but I don't know. I think they both clowns for this. I think his wife should see this and file for a divorce. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to stand in between you and the love of your life. Sign this papers. I'll be out. Like, clearly, y'all are making promises to each other. Y'all are having these deep. There's no way I could be married to this man and watch this and still want to wake up next to him every day. There's no go be with your family. Go be with your family.
Unless he's married to her for citizenship, that's the only logical thing I can think of. But that's probably the only reason. Has to be the only reason why he's staying. But hey,
listen, I don't care what the reason is. Go ahead. I've never been of the ilk where a man is gonna be like, oh my God, I just can't choose between you and her. I just can't. Go choose her. Bye. Immediately. Go choose her. Clearly. Because you couldn't have wanted me. There's no way. The fact that you can't choose means you don't want me. So go choose her. Bye.
Pretty much.
Because unfortunately, that's all the answer that you would ever need. Because what do you mean? How do you respect me? I don't know. And this is why, and I think the last clip was basically this man was somewhat.
Don't want you in order for you to understand and accept the fact that he don't want you. When a man is not consistent, he don't want you. When a man can disappear on you 2, 3, 4 days at a time and then pop back up calling you like nothing ever happened, he don't want you. When a man is letting you know about a barrier situation that's in between the two of you already.
Barrier situation between the two of you.
Together, but you know, it ain't nothing, man. Me and you, we good though. He don't want you.
Hello?
When a man is only talking to you at night, or most of the time, mostly through text message, he don't want you.
I mean, that's obvious.
And a lot of times, y'all are falling for these predatory movie director men, where they want you to walk into their audition room, you know, and you undressing, showing your best wifely qualities and how much you're capable of being the star of his life, being the star of his movie, and he's just like the whole time he's looking at you like, and you getting upset, you wondering why, and you accepting all this gray area, but he don't want you.
All this gray area.
He don't want you. Understand that. You have a lot of men that's not gonna flat out blatantly say it. You know what? Nah, this ain't it. This ain't what it is.
Which is corny as hell.
You know, they will let you risk it all. You have a lot of men out here that's like that.
Corny.
Get it through your head. Stop fighting to be on his roster.
Hello?
Like, ladies, I don't understand.
And I just, and this was one of the times where the algorithm was algorithm, because that original post popped up. And then like a couple posts later, this popped up. And I was like, this is perfect timing, because I just don't understand. This crying, begging, please, baby, please. All of this shit is not, girl, you look crazy. And then now you set yourself up even worse, because now the only man you're going to be able to attract is a man who is going to exploit your desperation, because he done seen you crying on the internet, looking stupid over that first dude, looking stupid over Safari, looking stupid over this married man, and he going to be like, yep, got a sucker. And you just set yourself up to be the biggest target of some BS, because you're not doing the work, you're not healing, and you're not figuring out what it is, why you're just so beautiful, but none of these men are showing up for you in the way that they ought to be showing up for you. Why is that? And I want to leave it at that, because I can't. And I'm not going back to watching Love and Hip Hop. I can't. Not, especially not after this. Y'all look crazy. Ladies, don't ever beg a man. Yeah, don't love yourself. Yeah, what do you look like?
Shoot, I believe it goes both ways, men and women.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, I think it applies both for men and women.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, but I don't see this scenario going both ways, though.
I mean,
maybe equals no.
You'd be surprised. There's some dudes who will break down. You know, there's women who take pride in they say, yo, I make niggas cry and shit.
Yeah, but making them cry how?
Like, the way Amada is, there's dudes that would beg a woman on some shit like this. Is what I'm saying.
Not after she done not. I mean, I don't even know if you could reverse this situation for a man to beg a woman.
What do you mean?
No, I'm trying to figure out what it is you mean as far as a man crying. Because the only thing I could see a man crying over is she don't want him.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much that.
Yeah, but they have kids. Granted, I don't know why she waited so, and I think that's my biggest fear too is, bitch, you waited to get to your big grown age to be a baby mother. Like, you're crazy. Like, you're insane. Like, if you wanted kids that bad, you should have been had kids. But I get it. You wanted to try to get your career off the ground first. You wanted to establish yourself first. So yeah, I get that.
I got caught slipping and shit.
To end up in a situation where you're sleeping with a married man that you don't even know is married, to the point where you get pregnant by him, and then you find out that he's married, and you still catch yourself wanting to cry and beg him to be with you and leave his wife for you, that's freaking nuts.
So maybe equals no. He's telling you no with everything he does, and that's why it hurts. Amiga, let him go. No vale la pena.
I don't know what that means.
The pain is not worth it, basically.
What she said.
Yeah.
This is me. Like, this is me. Ever since they let people comment with gifts, it's been hilarious.
Listen, if I have daughters, I'm be like, yo, do not beg him, man. If man don't want you, don't beg for that nigga. Leave him where the fuck he's at.
That's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Sweat fellow. Yep, that's facts.
I don't know, but yeah, that's all I had for today. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Black folk invest in this terrible climate we're in right now.
Any recommendations for what they should invest in?
Okay. Don't invest in Tesla. If you do, put in them put options.
I don't know what that means, but heard you. And on that note, I do believe we are done.
Peace.